Back on July 13th, I dedicated my monologue to the cancel culture. If you were unaware of what the cancel culture was or what it was intended to accomplish, let me explain. It is the attempts of the enemies of freedom to destroy an American citizen's ability to earn a living or destroy their business by interfering with their ability to attract customers. Those who embrace the cancel culture attempt to use social media to destroy lives and businesses as a means of punishment for those who dared to disagree with them. That is what cancel culture is. In other words, the enemies of freedom attack their fellow citizens or businesses they do not like through social media. But why would the enemies of freedom launch these attacks? The fact is, if you refuse to comply with those attempting to seize control of our nation, our economy, our society, and our culture, you are the enemy in our new civil war. And when the cancel culture hits close to home, when you know the person or the business being targeted for destruction, the urgency to defeat our enemies becomes clear, just as it has for me. I will explain how close this cancel culture has come to me on the monologue.
Great fences make good neighbors, all while providing safety, security, and privacy for you, your family, and your fur family. Backyard Works is your local fence, deck, and handrail experts, owned and operated right here in Sussex County. All materials are top quality and made in the USA. Backyard Works knows that home is where the heart is. Visit online to view stunning projects at backyardworks.net or call today for customer service that's unmatched. 302-703-9888.
The monologue is entitled The Battle Standard for Our New Civil War. Let me be clear, my friends, the cancel culture is an act of war. That's what it is. It is a means of modern warfare to launch an attack on your fellow Americans through various social media platforms with one goal: to destroy the life of a fellow American who dares to disagree with your Marxist beliefs. If you own or operate a business, the goal of that cancel culture is to interfere with that business's ability to conduct business in a free and open society and to drive them out of business so they will be replaced by another business who does agree to comply with your Marxist beliefs. Very recently, there was a Marxist attack on Goya Foods. Not only did it fail, it backfired. And if you should ever stray from your compliance to Marxist principles, you will be targeted in the same manner. I believe I have laid out the basic principles of this 21st century Civil War battle tactic of our enemy. Eliminate any form of opposition, and that is what they are trying to do. Late last week, I became aware of an attempt by an enemy of freedom to cancel a business and permanently damage a business owner for the crime of hanging a Trump flag at the rear entranceway to his pizza restaurant. The flag was not hanging at the front main entrance. It was hanging in the rear of the building. One thing we are learning about our enemies: they will stop at nothing to defeat us, to permanently confine us to our homes with no job, no business, no means of support because we dare to disagree with them. The case I bring to you today is a business owner I know, and for many years. A business Nancy and I frequented at least weekly and perhaps more frequently when we lived on Long Island. That is why this attempt to cancel Patio Pizza and its owner, Guy Caligiuri, hits very close to home for us. Again, Guy Caligiuri's crime: hanging a Trump flag at the rear entrance to his business. Guy has been in business over 40 years. He and his business, Patio Pizza, have been a fixture on Lake Avenue in St. James for many years. Nancy and I love the place. We were there with our kids all the time when they were growing up. It was our right to select Patio Pizza from about a half dozen other pizza restaurants in St. James, and we selected Patio Pizza time after time. After you finished your meal at Patio, it was their tradition to place a York peppermint patty at each guest's place. It was sort of a patio after dinner mint. Nancy and I loved the tradition. We used to talk about it all the time. 10 years ago, when we first moved to Sussex County, I noticed that Nancy was feeling a little homesick. To lift her spirits one day, I stopped off at a store and purchased a York peppermint patty. When our dinner was over, I cleared the table. I returned with a small dish holding a York peppermint patty and placed it down in front of Nancy. She looked up at me and smiled. Message sent, message received. Those are the kinds of business traditions that Americans cherish. Those are the kind of nuances which make American businesses special. Those are the kinds of businesses marked for this kind of terror attack by our Marxist enemies. They must be stopped, and we will stop them with God's help. The Trump flag is a relatively new form of political statement. But make no mistake, the Trump flag is our new battle standard. A battle standard is a flag used to fight a war. That is what the Trump flag has become for us, our battle standard. A battle standard is used to lead soldiers into war, and that is exactly what the Trump flag is doing for us today. It is leading us into battle with the enemies of freedom. Americans have exhibited symbols of nonconformity throughout our history. The Confederate rebel flag is probably the most pronounced example of this. I do understand why African Americans resent the display of this flag with its roots in our first Civil War. I do understand their feelings. However, in modern times, I believe this flag was displayed as a sign of nonconformity with our enemies in Washington. The Trump flag has turned into a symbol of our attempts to save America. Those who display it want to save this country and not tear it down. Those who embrace any form of the cancel culture want to tear this country down. That's what they want. That's what they're working toward. Even more shocking, this once proud Christian nation, by embracing the destruction of a person or their business, shows that they have rejected the cross of Jesus Christ and have turned their back on the redemption that was promised to us by the way of the resurrection. When you mark someone for a societal death, when you mark their business for death, it's far more public than beating them in the streets during a riot. Whether it is the cancel culture or destruction by way of rioting in the streets, the goal of our enemies is the same. Without question, we see Trump flags everywhere. I see them more frequently than Confederate battle flags now. But get prepared, my friends. The enemies of freedom will accuse all of us who fly a Trump flag as no different than those who fly the Confederate rebel flag. They will call us racists for flying that Trump flag and eventually target you and me for cancel. The cancel culture rejects the promise of salvation. Those who embrace this evil can in no way believe in the Judeo-Christian principles. They are pawns of the evil one. For us, the Trump battle standard is a flag of defiance, isn't it? We will fight for our president. We will fight to preserve our republic. Whether it is a coffee shop in Virginia, Goya Foods, or Patio Pizza, the cancel culture should be unacceptable in a free society. Why, even President Donald Trump tweeted a ringing endorsement of Patio Pizza. The president, who has never dined at Patio Pizza, even shouted out to its owner, Guy Caligiuri. Let us commit this morning for treating those who use social media to cancel American citizens and their businesses as war criminals. That is who they are. That is the way they should be treated. War criminals. My friends, the fact is that any one of us can be targeted by this cancel culture. How would you feel if it were your job? How would you feel if it were your business? And that is the monologue. What say you? The monologue was sponsored locally by Backyard Works, your premier fence, deck, and handrail source. Owned and operated here in Sussex County. Visit them online to view stunning projects at backyardworks.net and give the local experts a call for your free quote today. 302-703-98